Thank you. Thank you so much. And welcome to the Seventh Heaven Podcast. I'm your host, Evan Myers. You can follow me on Twitter at Seventh Heaven. Follow the show on Instagram at Seventh Heaven Pod. We've got a great show planned for you today. Shout out to our live studio audience. Yes, you're the best. Subscribe and like the show. We're on YouTube. We're on Podbean. We're on Rumble. We're on Odyssey. We're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio. We are fucking everywhere. Wherever finer podcasts are sold. Thank you so much for joining me today. We got a great show planned for you today, but I must warn you. I must warn all of you. You might want to be drinking for this one. I know I am. Here's the thing, gang. Here's the dealio. Let me give you the rundown. For those of you who are new to the show, for those of you who have not listened to the show with any frequency, we like to have fun around here. We like to have fun. I joke that this is a serious news show. It's not. I don't know if you've caught on to that. I don't know if you're aware of that. What I provide is I attempt to provide a fun look at the news that I find entertaining. The news that's out there, out and about, out of the closet, if you will, and about, that you find on the interwebs, that you see on the social media. I want to comment on the stuff that really doesn't matter. You know? Because here's the deal. If you want to learn all about Russia and Ukraine, if you want to learn about school shooters, if you want to learn about all that nonsense, this is not what I do. One, I'm not qualified to make any sort of real commentary on any of that. And two, if I did that every day, I'd fucking want to kill myself. This world is too depressing. It's wildly depressing. Here's the thing. Everybody goes, oh my God, it's so terrible now. It is terrible. But here's the thing. Is it worse than ever was? I don't know. It's bad because we have a computer in our pocket that just feeds us dark shit all day. I don't want to be part of that. I'm already addicted to it. I already have it. I get that fucking drip every day. I don't want to contribute to it. I don't want to participate in it as much as I can. I want to limit my own contribution to that. I want this to be fun. I want this to be lighthearted. I want this to be an enjoyable, fun show for people who are just don't give a shit. People who need a reprieve from the bullshit of the day. So with that in mind, I'm going to let you know right now that this is going to be the most sexual show that I've ever done. And that's not by design. This is not by design. Let me give you a little peek behind the curtains, gang. When I'm picking stories for the show, what I do every week is I'm on Twitter and I see stories that I find entertaining and I bookmark them. As it so happened, the three most interesting things that I feel like I can talk about on this show are all sexual in nature. And I'm going to start with the least worst of them. And it will get progressively worse. The first one is fairly lighthearted. The second one is creepy. It's creepy. And the third one is the worst fucking Twitter thread I've ever read in my entire life. So, if that's not for you, then listen to something else. Just listen. don't listen to me. But if it's for you, if you're getting a little hard thinking about it, then keep listening. Keep listening. It's fun. This is a fun show. It's fun. This one's going to be it's going to be grosser than normal. I'm giving you a heads up now. It's not for people who are lighthearted as it pertains to sex. I'm not one for trigger warnings, and I'm not going to call this a trigger warning. It is a bit of a trigger warning, but it's more about people have their own cultural and personal biases. And if you go, oh, like I like Your Mom's House. I don't know if you know the show Your Mom's House. Tom Segura, Christina P, and they will watch horrific videos that make me wildly uncomfortable, and I have to take a break, because for me, it's just too hard. It goes too hard. But some people just wallow in that, and they're watching the most uncomfortable shit all the time. And God bless them. I don't have that. I have loving parents, so I don't know what that's about. But anywho, so for those of you who might be a little more faint of heart, this one might not be for you. This one might not be for you. But for those of you who have a little bit higher threshold for this stuff, well, welcome to the show. Welcome to the Seventh Heaven Podcast. So our first story of the top story of the night comes to us by the way of it's a small website. It's one you might have heard of. It's by this website called the Daily Wire. For those of you who don't know the Daily Wire, it's run by this I think he's Jewish, but his name's Ben Shapiro, and he's an up and coming conservative commentator. And this story here, it's fun. It's a fun story. It's one I think is provocative. I think it's thought provoking. So if you're like me, pour yourself a glass of gin and soda, or drink your wine, or smoke your weed, or drink your beer, or, huff some crystal meth. Whatever it is that you enjoy doing, lubricate yourself with me, because it'll be more fun. It'll be more fun. We're going to have fun, gang. We're going to have fun. All right. From the Daily Wire, ex-porn star Mia Khalifa says serving in the U.S. military worse than selling body online. Ooh. This one comes to us by way of Amanda Prestigiacomo. Okay, I got it. Let me just preface this and say, Italians, when Donald Trump said "Make America Great Again," he meant before you fuckers arrived. That was more of a comment, really. Here's the thing. The Italians, I don't know what the deal is, but I assume you're all mob affiliated. I've been watching a lot of Michael. I don't know if you guys know this Michael Francis guy, Michael Francis. He was a made man. He was part of the Colombo crime family, one of the 5 families in New York. And so I've been deep diving on the mob lately. And so every time I read an Italian name, I think, mafia. So Amanda Prestigiacomo of the dailywire.com, you mafiosa. You filthy mobster. I assume. And maybe making assumptions makes an ass out of me and you. Maybe that's true. But do I care? No, not at all. So Amanda writes, former porn star Mia Khalifa said that serving in the U.S. military is, quote, worse than someone selling their body online. Khalifa, who uses a pseudonym for privacy, worked in the adult film business for 3 months. That's it. After her departure, she blasted the industry for being too exploitative. Though the 29-year-old is currently on OnlyFans, a subscription site known for hosting so-called sex workers. So-called sex workers. Why is that why are we alleging this? Why is it like, oh, they're so-called sex workers? Well, I mean, do they sell their body online? Seems like the sex worker phrase would fit for that. Anywho, going on. Quote, So we have OnlyFans, and then we have the sex work industry, and then we have like actors. Is there a difference between these industries, or are we all fundamentally selling our bodies in some way? Late night show host Zoe Fumudo asked the former porn star for an episode of Z-Way that originally aired on May 29th. By the way, guys, I'm recording this on July 22nd, so I don't know why they're writing about it a month and a half later. But anyway, honestly, this is Mia. Honestly, I think that selling your body, like if we're going by that definition, being in the army is worse than being on OnlyFans, Khalifa responded. You're selling your body to the government. Wow, Fumudo replied. Wow. Unilad reported on the clip resurfacing this week. It resurfaced, guys. It was underwater and then it came back out. And the slew of reactions it received online, including some agreement. Alternatively, some folks blasted Khalifa for comparing those who risk their lives to protect our freedoms with people performing in sex videos. All right. It's the second time in this article they've talked about her blasting or being blasted. Are we doing phrasing anymore, people? Do we care about phrasing? One person, service to our country is not shameful. One person shot back. Again, a lot of blasting, a lot of shooting. Okay. Quote, at least in the army, you do something for society, another comment read. Yeah, killing Iraqis, I guess. The ex-porn star in 2020 warned young people to stay away from the industry. Quote, those 11 videos will haunt me until I die, and I don't want another girl to go through that because no one should, Khalifa said via Instagram, according to her to Inside Hook. Quote, women are haunted by the decisions they made years ago, another post said, but they weren't their decisions. Don't support other vulnerable women from getting exploited just because they need money for rent. Khalifa also tweeted that she'd rather return any money from porn that continued to have videos live online. Quote, I'd rather have it removed than take a dime from that bag. I was offered millions to return for one video and it felt violated all over again. But the sheer audacity that they thought my body was contingent on the right price. Years after I started speaking out against industry practices, she wrote. Please think about this if you're considering the sex industry. She wrote in another tweet, they will make it impossible to rectify your regrets should you have them in the future. Khalifa now makes $10,000 per day on OnlyFans, she says. Her page is described as safe for work, but spicy. It's unclear what type of content is on the page. All right, let's unpack that. First and foremost, blasting, shooting. Is there no other way to say these things? Why is it like you might as well just say that she shot ropes at somebody? You know, like why? I feel like either Amanda and the editor here are being a little, they're not aware of the innuendo, which is this is possible. It's the Daily Wire. Or they're tapping into that while also judging it, which is just kind of annoying. Anywho, let's unpack her argument. It's not a deep argument. Her argument is that the army, if you're selling your body, being in the army is worse than being on OnlyFans because you're selling your body to the government. As a libertarian, I actually have a hard time disagreeing with that. I'll be honest. I really do. Now, if we were to break it down, the army, you will get certain benefits. You might get a VA loan to buy a house. You get a lower interest rate than the rest of the knuckleheads out there trying to get a house right now. That's cool. You'll get health care. That's cool. You don't get health care in porn. And I would say in the army, you get a higher base pay. You go in, you're going to make a certain amount of money, whereas in porn, maybe not so much. As it pertains to porn, though, porn has a higher return. If you do hit it in porn, you will become a multimillionaire. most people in the Army don't make millions of dollars unless they're doing some side shit that they shouldn't be doing. But yeah, I don't know. There's a cost benefit analysis here. I think her point is up for debate. In the military, people generally respect that more than porn. That being said, if you're in porn, a lot of dudes do respect that. They do. They may judge you, but they also like you. So it's sort of a double-edged sword. The risk with porn is that you will get a creepy stalker who tries to kill you and have sex with your dead body in his basement. So there's that. But the risk if you go in the Army is that you go overseas and you step on a mine or an IED or a sniper takes you out, or, you know, you just leave with mental issues and you witness horrific shit that you live with for the rest of your life. There's really, again, cost benefit. I don't know what is the right answer to this. I don't think that what she's saying is way off base. That's the way, that would be my analysis. I don't think that what she's saying is way off base. No pun intended to the military folks living on a base. I don't, or porn stars going past third base. Ignore the base. I think that here's the thing. If you decide to do porn, everybody you know who you went to high school with, college with, whatever, your family, it's pretty well unavoidable that they're going to find out. It's going to be seen. There's going to be some of them that are going to judge the fuck out of you. There's going to be some of them that are going to love it and they're going to be big fans of it. Selfishly, I wish every female I knew did porn, but I know that's not good for them. I know porn is not good for people. It's not a good industry. It's not something you'd want your daughter in, not something you want your sister in. You certainly wouldn't want your girlfriend or your wife in that. So we know that's not good. But if my wife were in Iraq, I don't know if that would be much better, you know? I don't know if that'd be better. I think what fundamentally comes down to it is that at least in Iraq, it's not all on film. You know, you don't have it's not all being live streamed. So if you see some horrific shit, you know, you see like bodies burning and children dying, or you cradle your best friend's head on your lap after he stepped on IED, and you got to live with that shit for the rest of your life, undoubtedly. But it's not on Pornhub, you know? So you don't have to live with that. So that's cool. Whereas in porn, it's not going anywhere. It's not going anywhere. So which one's better? Which one's worse? I think it's up for debate. Send me your comments. Tell me your thoughts, guys. If you have a comment, if you have an opinion, if you have some input, send it to me. I got a link tree. You can email me there. And you let me know. Just let me know. Let them know. If I'm off base here or if I'm not, you can click on the link through my Twitter at 7th Evan. You can let me know. I don't know. I think there's a debate here. Now, if you're a janitor in the Navy, then maybe I would say that's better than doing porn. You know? See, for me, it's combat. Combat is the difference. You know, combat is, if you're in combat, that's worse, quote unquote, than if you're in porn. Maybe not worse, but it's in the ballpark. But if you are, not doing shit with war, you're just doing, you're walking around you're cleaning the base up with a broom, or you're hanging, maybe you're droning people from a nice air-conditioned office. I think that might be better than porn. I would say that's probably better than porn. But I don't think that she's out of pocket here. As the kids say, I don't think she's out of pocket. Okay. I gotta take another little sippy poo. All right. So we're gonna go to the next story, guys. And like I've already said, I'm gonna give you another trigger warning. That if you thought that was bad, if you thought that first story was bad. By the way, before I get into that, she only did porn for 3 months. That's insane. This is a woman. You don't have to watch porn to know who Mia Khalifa is. You don't. It's if you're aware of the social sphere, she's out there. You know, so it's kind of crazy that she did porn for 3 months and she's parlayed that into a whole other thing. You know, and then she's getting $10,000 a month on her OnlyFans, which, by the way, let me just say something about this author who was talking about shooting and blasting and all that. And first off, I'm kind of hung up on that whole like so-called sex workers for only like why is everything, if you don't agree with it, why is it always like alleged? Like allegedly, this like you see it a lot, like, and I have to shit on the conservative media for doing this because every time a comedian like says something, they go, "Oh, this supposedly funny guy," and I'm like, well, he's selling out theaters, making a lot of people laugh. Even if you don't like, I get it. Like people do that with like Jimmy Kimmel. They go, "Oh, supposedly funny," and I'm like, listen, I get if you don't like Jimmy Kimmel, that's fair. I don't watch his show, but like. There's a reason he's on TV, and it's not because he just could fog a mirror, you know? Like, it's because he was able to make enough people entertained that somebody in Hollywood gave him a big contract to do this 5 nights a week. So can we stop accusing the people that we don't like of not being what they are? Like, oh, these so-called sex workers. I mean, if you're selling your body on OnlyFans, I don't know of a better phrase. That's just me. And then the other part where she closes here, where Miss Amanda Prestigiacomo, Amanda Prestigiacomo, she closes with this. She's saying Khalifa makes now about $10,000 per day on OnlyFans. She says her page is described as safe for work but spicy. It's unclear what type of content is on the page. You could have signed up. You could have paid the $20 or whatever for the month, and then you could have done okay, well, this is what she posts, let me tell you. But instead, we're left. It's unclear. It's not to her subscribers, not to her paid subscribers. It's not unclear, right? Why is this like you wrote the 500 words on the subject? Why not? Why is it like, oh, it's just a mystery what she does on there? But it's for supposed sex workers. So who's to say? If she's not in porn and it says that it's safe for work but spicy, I presume that she's not doing porn on there. That would be my first intuition. If I were to subscribe, I'd be, she might have, I don't know. She could have any number. She could be just, a lot of times believe it or not, there are people who use OnlyFans for their like, what they're basically using it for what Twitter used to be, which was I'm just going to say whatever the fuck I want and no one can cancel me. And maybe they post some pictures in, bikinis or whatever, but it's not a lot of like it says safe for work, but spicy. So I can presume she's not doing porn. That's my presumption. Anywho, back to the stories that we are doing, that we are to do. That we are on our way to doing. This one comes to us, by the way, of the New York Post, who I feel like I read one story from them every week. And I don't know what it is with the New York Post, but they have some of the craziest shit that I read on a regular basis. This one is titled, "I bought my husband a sex doll that looks just like me. Now we have threesomes," by Andrew Court. Good work, Andrew. There were 3 in bed, and this couple never looked back. A wife struggling with her husband's high libido had bought us a lookalike sex doll in order to take the pressure off if she's not in the mood. Char Gray, 23, splashed out $1,800 on the racy replica for her sexed-up spouse, Callum, 28, only to discover that she has also developed feelings for the dirty doll named D. Oh, gross. Quote, "D is not just a doll," Char told the Southwest News Service. Quote, "We're really attracted to her. She's helped strengthen our relationship and set our sex lives on fire. With Callum constantly in the mood for sex, Shar says she was struggling to keep up. The horny husband had also proposed the idea of a threesome, but Shar was reluctant to bring another woman into the bedroom. Oh, I wonder why that is. Instead, Shar thought it made sense to buy a doll to participate in pretend threesomes and for Callum to use as a plaything when she wasn't feeling up for sex. Quote, there were so many to choose from, but we eventually found Dee, who we think looks like me, Shar enthused, revealing she bought the doll in June 2021. In the 13 months since, the silicone sex toy has helped take this couple's car. Blah, 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 blah. Hold on now. In the 13 months since, the silicone sex toy has helped take the couple's carnal activities to new heights. Quote, it was the best decision and has definitely improved our sex life, Shar stated. It's great because Callum has a high sex drive, and if I'm not in the mood, he's got Dee there. She added, we both love experimenting with her, and she regularly joins our steamy sessions too. Outside of the bedroom, Dee has also become an important part of the couple's relationships. Shar and Callum dress the doll up in white lingerie and take her out on car rides. She also sits beside them when they watch their favorite TV show, The In-Betweeners, together. The pair proclaim that they don't care what anyone thinks, as bringing Dee into their life has worked for them. Meanwhile, Shar and Callum are OnlyFans stars who make upwards of $80,000 a month. I'm going to let that settle. In. They make upwards of $80,000 a month. The pair have also brought Dee on camera for cameos, and many of their 2,000 subscribers have similarly become enamored with the inanimate object. However, Dee doesn't always join the couple for their sex sessions and is occasionally placed in a studio while they enjoy alone time. Quote, we'd never put her away in a cupboard, Shar declared. She has a positive impact on us as a couple. If anything, she's brought us closer together. All right. We made it. We made it, guys. We made it through that one. That one was fucking woo. It's creepy, though. Is it not creepy? First off, why get the doll that looks like you? If you're going to have the threesome, the key to a threesome, in my humble view, my humble opinion, the key to the threesome is the two different girls, right? You get a blonde and a brunette, or a redhead, a white woman, a black woman, a Latino woman. You want it to be different. You don't want them to look the same. That would be if I were ordering a sex doll with my wife, I would want her to look different than my wife. I mean, is that crazy? I think it's a little crazy. My other thought is that, first and foremost, you guys aren't OnlyFans. You guys have sex on camera. Why is your husband still horny? Where is this libido coming from? This is, no pun intended. This is egregious. In my mind, this is egregious. This is egregious because here's the thing, gang. If you're having sex with your wife on a regular basis, that part of you should be generally satisfied. Unless you literally you want to have sex with other women, then that's another thing. But if you're actually having a regular sex, I feel like you should be fine. They dropped $1,800. They dropped $800 on a girl that kind of looks like her. Well, it's like if she were a dead body. That's really what it's like. And that's, I don't know. Ladies, I know I have thousands of female listeners. How would you feel about if you're in this scenario. How would you feel if your husband bought a sex doll? Not you, just him, but like you both, like, would you go along with this? Like he says, I want to have a threesome, and you counter, no, I'll bring a sex doll into this. Is that a good strategy? I don't know. I don't know if I'd feel good. Like if he's all like, hey, I'm in the mood, and he's like, oh, take D instead. And then he's like, okay. That's not what you want to hear. That's not what you want to hear. This is not what you want to hear, in my mind. Teach their own, though. Teach their own. Callum, I assume he's British. I assume these people they look British. It's disgusting. These people, these fucking Brits are disgusting. But everybody has their own thing. I get that, but this is weird. This is weird. It is weird. First off, I don't understand the dude that's like, you know what, babe, we should have sex on camera. I don't understand that guy. I understand a guy who's like, I will have sex with you on camera, but we are not married, and this will not continue much longer than the camera. You know, the dude who wants to share his wife with the world, that's an odd thing. That's odd. It's strange to me. The woman who says, let's have threesomes with sex dolls, also strange to me. It's all of this is strange. It's all strange. But see, here's the thing, and this is to the Daily Wire. The guy in the New York Post knows what it's about. They know what the content's about. It's not a mystery. It's not a mystery to Andrew here about what is being shown on that OnlyFans. So I appreciate the hardworking journalism that Andrew put into this story. Studio audience, give him a round of applause. Yes. Yes. It is weird. I feel like this is how serial killers are born. I feel like if they ever have a kid, it will be a serial killer, because this story will be up and they'll see that, and maybe they'll grow up thinking that D is their mom, you know? Think about that. And I mean, I guess I don't know. That's the other thing about having a sex doll. Well, we never put her away in a closet or anything. I'm like, well, okay. Is it just sitting in the living room? You know, you just keep it out in the living room. There's no good place to store a sex doll. If you have it out in public, it's fucking weird. If you have it in a coat closet and some friend comes over and opens the closet and this fucking doll rolls out, that's scarier. If you keep it under the bed, that's fucking weird. There's no good place to have a sex doll. There's none. Maybe the garage. There's just none. There's no good place to have a sex doll. So, and it's scary because this is the future. I know people, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, yeah, think about this, blah, 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 blah. You know? But it's the future. This is the future, because unfortunately we are all diving deeper and deeper into the online sphere, and we're having less and less relations than we've ever had. And there will be a large portion of our population that is just having virtual sex with sex dolls and all that. We're already kind of there with porn. We're already kind of there, but it's just gonna get worse. You're only gonna hear more of this. You're only gonna get more of these stories. You're gonna get more and more. You're gonna start having couples like, oh well, my husband wanted a threesome, so I bought this doll. And they're like, oh, well, that spiced up our relationship. And you're going to be like, I never want to get fucking married. Let me tell you right now, I never want to get fucking married. That's all I get out of this. But I don't know. Everybody's got their own thing, man. What are you going to do? I don't know what to make of this. It's disturbing. I told you it was creepy. I warned you it was creepy. It's creepy. It's fucking creepy. But it's not the worst. Because we have one more story. We have one more story to get through, guys. We have one more story. And this is a Twitter thread. And in my mind, it is the worst Twitter thread I've ever read. Undoubtedly. So keep that in mind. The Twitter thread was actually deleted. So I had to go and find somebody who had it saved on a separate area. So it comes to us by Babe the Pig Boy at Babe Rogers XXX on Twitter. A lot of people go, oh, this is fake. This is going to be a fake story. This is all just clout chasing. When I went on to his page, he had a pinned video of him literally sucking a dick. So that's, if this is a fake story, my God, he's committed. But I don't think this is fake. Babe the Pig wrote, "Hi, so I have monkeypox. Not fishing for any sort of sympathy, but since I'm already known for being pretty unabashed on the internet, I figured I'd give an honest account of how I got it and how my symptoms manifested to hopefully educate anyone curious. So strap in." I'm going to take another drink. So this whole saga really begins mid-June. When I finally, ladies and gentlemen, the gin is working. So this whole saga really begins mid-June when I managed to finally catch COVID. All in all, thanks to a long COVID cough that just wouldn't quit, I ended up completely isolating for 3 full weeks. Well, that's very responsible. Not being able to have sex or make any content. The guy hasn't had sex in 3 weeks. Oh, God, what's that like? Needless to say, I was desperate to get back to work. Like, yes, I'm a slut and all that, but sex is both my life and my livelihood. If I'm not making content, I can't pay my bills. So I finally got back into the swing of things and attended a friend's birthday orgy. Oh, who amongst us? Saturday the 9th. I had been watching the news on monkeypox, but the general feeling on it really were and still are developing by the day. So I nor anyone else was especially worried. Especially since there had only been 2 confirmed cases in my entire county. And this group was all locals. And the host of that group was a good friend and a nurse. So I trusted their judgment in still having the event happen. It was a great... Hold on. I got to drink for this one. It was a great time. I think I came into... Okay. All right. Let me get this. I got to get this one right. I got to get this clean. Put it in the promo. It was a great time. I think I came into sexual content with somewhere in the ballpark of 15 to 20 different men. Oh! Yikes. In the following days, once I was back to being sexually active, I made sure to check in with my body to make sure I wasn't experiencing any symptoms, as based on all the research I'd done, MP was only contagious when you were having symptoms. Good to know. The following Monday, I was feeling totally fine. Filmed with 2 daddies. Let me read that again. Filmed with 2 daddies. Had a great time. Still definitely no symptoms. I knew I had plans made to go to another orgy on Thursday, so I took the days leading up off from sex to minimize any risk of getting or spreading anything. Well, okay. So Thursday comes around, and by this point I'd gotten pretty nervous about MP. Like I said, it seemed like every day the conversation was getting more and more intense. So I spent the whole day doing research and reaching out to medical friends to get their opinions. Pretty much everyone and everything said the same thing. There's only a few cases in your county. Risks are incredibly low at this point. So I made the educated risk to attend the orgy on Thursday. Wowzers, did that blow up in my fucking face in the end? Well, all right, phrasing. So this orgy was a piss orgy thrown by some friends. Even though it wasn't officially affiliated with it, it was advertised as a pre-Wet and Hot orgy. Wet and Hot being a big piss kink event that happens in Palm Springs. It was what brought me to PS the first time I visited. It had actually been canceled the 2 years prior thanks to COVID, so people were really intent on coming to this one. And plenty of people who were flying into town from all over the place, including places where MP was way more prevalent, were attending this orgy. So I attend the orgy, have a great time, guzzled a metric fuck ton of human piss. I think I had sexual contact with about 15 men, similar to the orgy on Saturday. Had a great time, met some great people, then stumbled my piss-drunk ass home. On Friday, I had a few quick hookups with local guys, 3 total. And on Saturday, I had a 4-way with some local piss pigs. Nothing on Sunday, though I did make plans to film the following Thursday rather than on Monday when I usually film, which would turn out to be a good thing. Come Monday, and my cough seems to come back. I don't think much of it, as I was still experiencing that intermittent long COVID cough I mentioned. But this was it back with quite the vengeance. I opted to wait until Thursday to do any fucking, just to be sure. Tuesday is when shit hits the fan. Cough is still bad, but come evening and a wave of exhaustion suddenly hits me. I get in bed around 7:30, thinking maybe I'll get some extra sleep, and I realize I can literally feel the heat coming off my skin. I must have a fever. It's starting to sink in now. I screw my courage to my goddamn sticking place, literally, and reach down and feel around my hole. And there it is. Little bumps on the inside of my fucking ass cheeks. I had the pox. I immediately message my doctor and let him know, and I tell him I'm going to call my local disease control tomorrow. Stupidly, I'm hoping they can retroactively give me the vaccine to at least make this not as severe, but if you're already having symptoms, there's no point. I just feel worse and worse as the night goes on. I'm scalding to the touch, but even under three blankets, I couldn't get warm. Every time I stood up, my head would throb and the room would spin, and I'm just so sad and upset to have this literally right after COVID. Currently, it's now my second full day of symptoms. I went and got tested, and while those results won't be back for a few days, the doctor could confirm it's MP. Still, my lymph nodes aren't swollen, and I don't have any lesions on my hands, so hopefully this is a more mild version. Tracing it back, it's pretty clear I had my exposure at the Thursday orgy with all the out-of-towners. The timing works out exactly right. I'm not sure at what point I began to be contagious. If it was when my cough got worse or when all those symptoms hit me at once. But as far as I can tell, I didn't pass it on to anyone. And me having it has actually allowed several other people to be vaccinated. So there's at least one silver lining, as well as the fact that by the end of this, I'll be immunized myself. Whoa, natural immunity? All in all, if you're able to get the vaccine voluntarily, please do. I live in the small town and don't have the option, even though I was highly at risk. My 2 cents, it's reductive to tell gay people to not have sex. It didn't work in the early day of AIDS, and it's clearly not working now, but do your best to make educated choices. Check your county's numbers frequently, and if you can, avoid groups and anonymous accounters. We got through it, didn't we, guys? Yeah. Okay. I think I need brain bleach for that. Am I wrong when I say that's the worst Twitter thread of all time? Undoubtedly, that's the worst Twitter thread I've ever read in my life. First off, I do like how he closes with, it's reductive to tell gay people not to have sex. It didn't work in the early days of AIDS and is clearly not working now. Okay, how about this? Don't go to piss orgies. Okay. Maybe have sex with one anonymous person that week instead of 23. Sorry, 33. This guy went to a birthday orgy, a piss orgy, and then hooked up with 3 other people the following day. In one day. So, I don't know. Seems like it's funny, like this does not happen with the heterosexuals. This does not happen because women don't do this. Men do. Obviously men will do this. Women do not do this. So, I mean, again, I'm not saying don't have sex. I'm saying don't have sex with 33 men. That's just my 2 cents. It's kind of crazy. They have a vaccine for this shit. That was quick. They're rolling these things out real quick, aren't they? Monkeypox has been here for like 2 months, and we already have a vaccine. We took a year to do the COVID one. That doesn't work. But yeah. Okay. That's good to know. It's good to know. I mean, it's knowledge. It is knowledge. It's good for if the gay community is at risk for this, they should know that the Lord is spiting them with the plague. I mean, this is like, holy shit. What? I mean, yeah. I mean, if you have sex, you come into sexual contact with 30 or so people in the course of a week or two, you're putting yourself at risk. I don't care. Most people don't have sex with 30 people in their life. You're cramming them all into a 2-week spread. Mike, and that's the thing. This guy, I don't even know what he's done leading up to this. You know? I don't know. This is undoubtedly the worst thing I've ever read. And what? Piss orgies? Why? What's the piss thing? What is that? That is not, I swear to God, people, why can't you, like, this is when I know you got problems. Like, if there's whips and chains, piss, what are we doing? What's there? Whatever happened? What's wrong with fucking, you know? Why is this hard? Why are we complicating this? I don't know. This is fucking wild. He did delete the thread, but here's the thing. The guy is he's an alleged sex worker. And his Twitter account verifies that he is that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to make of this. That's what I'm saying. I don't know what to make. Babe, the pig boy, my only advice is that you stop chasing orgasms so intensely. You know, like, find a nice boy. Not boy. Wrong. Find a nice fella who will treat you right. And don't be a whore. Stop. Being a whore is dangerous, people. It's dangerous. And we act like it's not. We do this thing where we pretend, oh, yeah, my body, my choice. And it's like, well, this is a consequence. Is catching monkeypox between the cheeks. So here's the thing. I am glad that once again we have another virus that I don't have to worry about. I'm glad I'm not affected by this. So that makes me feel good. But if you're homosexual, then, you know, be careful. Be careful out there. Try not to be a whore. That would be my advice. Try not to be a whore. I know this is too much for people to ask. And that's the funny. He closes with, like, oh, yeah, you're just trying to tell gay people not to have sex. Don't have sex with 30 people. That's what I'm saying. Cut your number at least in half. Maybe go by have sex with one anonymous stranger a week. Not 30. Sorry, 15 to 20 one time and then 15 the other time. That's a lot. That's a lot. This guy has better numbers in 2 weeks than I've had in my entire life. Guess what? I don't have monkeypox. I don't have any STDs. Ladies, I don't have any STDs. STIs. So that makes me clean. That makes me clean, ladies. So you got to consider that. You got to consider these things. This is straight. This is undoubted. Again, okay, you're mad at me. You're fucking mad at me. I fucking warned you. I warned you. This would be undoubtedly one of the worst things you've ever heard in your life. And I'm sorry for sharing it, but I had to. Because if I had to see it, you have to hear it. I love this. So I made the educated risk to attend the orgy on Thursday. It was an educated risk. By the way, what are the odds this dude is like, you better wear a mask or you fucking Trump supporting piece of shit anti-vaxxer. We all know that this is true, right? We know this guy fucking voted for Biden. We know that he's one of these dudes who fucking goes to the grocery store and puts on his N95. And then it's funny. It's just true. I don't do any of these things. They do all these things and then they get sick and then they die and then they're mad at us. And I don't know what to make of it. I don't know what to make of that. Anywho, this has been a very sexual episode of the Seventh Heaven Podcast. Thank you so much for listening. Like and share with a friend. Follow me on Twitter at Seventh Heaven. Follow me on Instagram at Seventh Heaven Pod. Enjoy your weekend and try not to catch the pox.